What is going on with y'all, man? It is Black Balloon, and I'm coming back with another video. So y'all already know what's going on. Alright, y'all. Now, sometimes, I feel like, what is America without a show? What is America without distractions? What is America without a stage? What is America without, psychological warfare? What is this country without spiritual warfare? I say all of these things to say that this case, the Idaho 4 murders, is blatant, clear as day. This was a ritual sacrifice. Now, it's also one of those things where you could go in either way. This could be completely staged, and none of it happened the way that you think it happened. Now, obviously, we're here talking about this in light of the 911 call being released and text messages also being made available to the public. Why at this time, I'm not sure. Maybe it's because the trial starts August 11th and news has come out about how the defense is going to go about the trial, which we will get into here in a second with Brian Kohlberger, the said suspect, right? One thing to note. It's always good when 911 calls are released on cases like this because we can really, get a feel for what's going on. Is it fake? Is it being stretched? Are they acting? Is it a bunch of very poor actors? What is actually going on? Countless amount of videos we've done on this channel. We dissect the 911 call. We talk about it. We listen to it. We give our opinions, right? I'm not the only one who's saying or thinking these things. Even people who are just regular, true crime geeks or whatever, a lot of this stuff isn't adding up. Even if you have just a little bit of investigation skills or you like to pay attention to this kind of stuff, a lot of things definitely don't add up, right? This happened November 13th, 2022. All you have to do is go on your handheld device. Go back to the year 2022, you will see that November 13th at 4 a.m. in the morning is on a Sunday morning. Now, if you are new to this channel, we do Sunday sacrifice series because Sunday represents sun worship, and multiple celebrities, rappers, rituals, satanic sacrifices, they take place on Sundays in order to worship the gods that they have allegiance to. That is why we do these videos on Sundays. I've said it multiple times. Sunday sacrifice. We could go down the list that is very long of celebs, actors, rappers being sacrificed on Sundays, all right? So this happened November 13th on a Sunday, 4 a.m. in the middle of the night or in the morning, and 4 people, as you can see on the screen, were supposedly murdered. Bunch of numerology just to start off before you even get to any kind of details, before you get to the amount of blood on the scene, before we get to the 911 call, you automatically see the numbers. Once again, the symbolism, the numbers are there for people who are paying attention. The ones who don't pay attention, the ones who don't care, the ones who don't believe in it, they don't see it. So that's why I started off saying the things that I said. What is America without a stage? What is America without psychological warfare? And these kind of stories that are energy harvesting stories. Just look at their faces. Look at the ones who were supposedly killed. 21, 19-year-old Idaho University students. It is hitting the hearts of people every single time something new about this case comes out. It just continues the harvest of energy in the spiritual realm, which is something a lot of people don't understand. My job is to go in, grab the details, and we try to expose it. That's some of the best things we can do. It's kind of like an opening statement for me. Like, what is this country without this kind of stuff? If you think about the state of what we live in America, like, we're built on this kind of tragedy, on this kind of trauma, spiritual warfare. We're built on this kind of stuff. Keep you in control, keep you afraid, keep your mind going into something, There's something for everyone. It's almost like what AI does. It's going to find what you like, what you want. It's going to constantly feed it to you. And that's what this country is. And so the more we understand that, then we can better process that a lot of these stories are ritually done. Some of them are completely fabricated and made up. But the ones that are, truly satanic sacrifices, a lot of the times the people who we see, like the case with the United Healthcare CEO, a lot of the times the people who they give us that did, who actually did it, they aren't the people that did it. They're just giving us a story because they can. It's just as simple as that. They can give you and whatever they want to give you, Pick this random guy who was stopped by Washington police or something like that, him and his father, 2 weeks before the murders happened. Oh, yeah, we do. We actually stopped them 2 weeks because they were following too close to another car, as in Brian Koberger and his dad. They can give you anything. They can give you anything. So with us knowing that, and, for the people that may not follow this case as much or haven't been since this happened, we'll take the time to jump into the 911 call. It's a clip from the Law and Crime channel here on YouTube. I just decided to use a bit of that because they also talk about the text messages. That way we could just see it on screen. And we'll go ahead and get into that, and we'll come back and talk about it a little bit more, all right? Check this out.
It's been more than 27 months since 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in a home near campus after spending the night hanging out with friends after a football game. And after all of this time, we are finally hearing the 911 call the surviving roommates made. The horror inside that home on King Road, unimaginable. Maddie Mogan and Kaylee Gonsalves had been stabbed to death. They were in the same bed on the 3rd floor. Xana Kernodle and her boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, were also stabbed to death and were dead in her bedroom on the 2nd floor. This is the last known photo of the 4 with the 2 surviving roommates. Recently, the transcript of the 911 call came to light in a motion filed by prosecutors, but the audio of the call submitted with it was filed under seal. But now that actual audio has been released. The 911 call led to a massive criminal investigation involving police in Moscow, Idaho, Idaho State Police, and the FBI. More than a month later, Brian Koberger, a PhD student at nearby Washington State University, was charged with breaking into the home and murdering Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, and Xana. He was studying criminology.
10:55 a.m. 42 seconds, November 13, 2022.
911 location of your emergency.
Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
What is the rest of the address?
Oh, Kings Road.
Okay. And is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right?
I'll talk to you guys. We live at the White, so we're next to them.
I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
The address, 1122 King Road.
And tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi, this is
And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around.
Can I just tell you what happened pretty much?
What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, Bethany, we gotta go check. But we have to. Is she passed out? She's passed out. What's wrong? She's not waking up.
Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay, thank you. What's wrong? Okay.
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 20.
20, you said?
Yes, 20. Here, do you want to
Okay.
talk to them?
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
Bethany, Dylan, I need you to talk to them, okay? I can't talk to them. I need you to talk to them.
Okay. Hello?
Okay. I've already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Say that again? There's a police here right now.
Okay. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
We don't have one. I think yes. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, we have one.
Are you talking to the officer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
11:59 a.m. 49 second, November 13, 2022.
All right, so one of the main things that are talked about with that 911 call is the fact that if you notice when the 911 call started, that little automated voice stated the time, and they also stated the time that the 911 call ended, which was at 11:59 a.m. So they were only on the phone for a couple of minutes. Mind you, the girl was interrupted by the operator when she said she wanted to tell them what happened at 4 a.m. Now, the operator, she wants to know what happened, at that moment. She's not investigating. She doesn't need to hear what happened at 4 a.m. So that's why, she interrupted her, I'm going to assume. At 4 a.m., one of the girls saw, supposedly now Brian Kohlberger, walking through the house. Supposedly, he didn't see her. She saw him. And that was at 4 a.m. Now, also, they have a bunch of text messages going back and forth from 2 of the surviving victims, right? Which we're going to get to the clip where she reads off the text messages. So someone was in their house. One of the girls knew it. One of the survivors knew it. They text each other. They called some of the other roommates who were in the house dead or they were being killed, if that is how the story goes. They waited almost 8 hours to call 911. And I'm going to assume they went to sleep. And they woke up like around 10, I think. And they were sending messages again. And they were calling the other roommates. They didn't go to their room and check on them or anything like that. They were calling them and texting them, and they weren't answering. So basically, it's almost like some scary movie script type of shit. They saw a scary masked man in their house at 4 a.m. and they were able to go to sleep and not call 911 right in that moment. You're going to see the text messages. They're just saying, oh, I'm freaked out. I'm freaked out. Like really just blonde type of stuff, just dumb stuff. And, I usually don't, just judge them like that. But man, really just dumb is all I can say. Instead of just, hey, I just saw a stranger in the house, let me call 911. They sit there and text each other. That part will forever be mind-boggling because I myself and thousands of other people just don't understand the thought process. And at that moment, it's safe to assume they had no idea anybody was dead. It's safe to assume it. So that part, I don't understand. And the next biggest thing to talk about with the 911 call, honestly, when I first heard the girl in the beginning, I thought it was fake. When I first heard it, I was just like, wow, terrible acting. Even like her little cry as she passed the phone off to the neighbor, because the second person to get on the phone in the 911 call, as she stated, was basically like the neighbor. She was much more calm and talking. The other girl was, that was just my first thought. I was just like, wow, it doesn't even sound real. It sounds staged. But I myself, I know a lot of these sacrifices are real. It's just the person who they say did it usually isn't the one that did it. It can go both ways. But another thing a lot of people were mentioning with this 911 call is there was no mention of blood from any of the girls. Not even the guy who supposedly went upstairs and went into the room first and then told the girls to get out, get out, get out. Some way, somehow, they knew one of the roommates were drunk and not breathing. Not conscious, wasn't waking up. So in my mind, you don't get that off of just calling the person and not seeing them. One of the girls had to see that they were not waking up. Basically, the call sounds like the girls never saw any of them in the upstairs, the top floor, or I think it was the second floor where the other two were killed. The thing about that is, they said there was so much blood that it leaked out of the exterior of the house, that it was almost ankle deep in those rooms in blood. The guy didn't mention blood. The girls didn't. We're talking about, I think, severed fingers of one of the girls. We're talking about so much blood that it is up to your ankles. And no one mentioned a drop of blood in the house. So that gives me one or two scenarios. Either there was no blood at all and this shit is completely staged, or there's a lot more to the story that meets the eye, because there's no way that your roommate, your close friend or whatever, is passed out and not waking up, but you don't see a puddle of blood that can go up to someone's ankle. And a lot of other people were saying, yo, the girls never saw inside of the room. It was just the guy who then you can hear on the 911 call say, get out, get out, get out. But the thing is, how would they have known that the girl was passed out and not waking up? They didn't say, yo, like all of our roommates, all four of them are passed out and they're not waking up. They were just talking about, like, in a sense, the way it sounded, one specific girl that's passed out. She was drunk last night and she's not waking up. They didn't mention the other three at all about them not waking up. So they had to see at least one of them laying there dead. And it does not explain the pool of blood that was so much it leaked out of the house, y'all.
As the phone was passed around to their friends, one of their friends discovered Xana according to a prosecution motion. The motion states, HJ located the unresponsive body of Xana Kernodle and informed BF and DM to call 911. Those are the surviving roommates. EA was present at that time. All declarants personally perceived the event, i.e., Kernodle unresponsive. The majority of the declarations were describing to dispatcher Carolina Calvin what they were perceiving, i.e., present sense impressions. Those statements relate to Kernodle being passed out and not waking up. The declarations were made immediately after H.J. discovered Kernodle's body.
Now, real quick, before we jump back into the text messages, this goes to show that there's no way possible they didn't see blood as described because the scene was so brutal. It says all declarants personally perceived the event, i.e., Kernodle unresponsive. The majority of the declarations were describing to dispatcher what they were perceiving. HJ, who was the guy who located the unresponsive body, remember, he was not one of the roommates. He was the guy that told them, get out, get out, get out. And it says he informed BF and DM to call 911. But when they were on the 911 call, they were told to go and make sure the girl was unresponsive. It almost seems like this happened twice. The way this puts it, as if they found the body first, or he found the body first, then told them to call 911. Then on the 911 call, we can hear them go into one of the rooms again because he clearly tells them to get out. But this is telling you they saw her body and they not once mentioned a giant pool of blood everywhere. All declarants personally perceive the event, y'all. So this is for all of the people who said the girls never saw the other roommates. Yeah, they did. They saw Xana. They saw her. But for some reason failed to mention the pool of blood in the room.
Now, before that 911 call was even placed, prosecutors have revealed that one of the surviving roommates, DM, tried to call all of the roommates. Prosecutors write, from 4/19/07 to 4/21/50, DM attempts to call BF, Xana Kernodle, Kaylee Gonsalves, and Madison Mogan. All calls unanswered. According to the timeline laid out by police, Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan had been murdered minutes earlier, and DM had seen a man in all black carrying a vacuum-type object walking through the house. Then, from 4/22/08 to 4/24/27, DM and BF send the following text messages. DM to BF, no one is answering. DM to BF again, I'm really confused right now. DM to Kaylee Gonsalves, Kaylee. DM says to Gonsalves again, what's going on? BF then texts DM, yeah, dude, WTF. BF then texts DM again, Xana was wearing all black. DM to BF, I'm freaking out right now. DM to BF, no, it's like ski mask almost. BF to DM, STFU. BF to DM, actually. And then DM says to BF, like he had something over his forehead and a little end mouth. DM to BF, I'm not kidding, so freaked out. BF then says to DM in a text, so am I. DF then says to BF, my phone is going to die. BF then texts DM, come to my room. Run, down here. Then DM places a phone call. At 4:24:39, DM calls Ethan Chapin. The call was unanswered. DM and BF continue to text. At 4:24:58, DM texts BF, I'm scared though. BF responds at 4:25:16, yeah, I know, but it's better than being alone. At 4:27:47, DM calls Gonsalves and the call goes unanswered. And at 4:28:44, DM calls Kernodle. That call is unanswered as well. These are not statements pursuant to IRE 801A. This is from Emotion. At 4:32:57, DM sends a text message to Gonsalves stating, please answer. The next morning at 10:23 a.m., DM texts Kaylee and Maddie. DM texts Kaylee, please answer. Then DM texts Mogan, are you up? DM then texts Kaylee Gonsalves again, are you up? There are other texts, and then the 911 call is placed around 11:56 a.m.
All right, y'all. And there you have it. You get quite possibly one of the dumbest threads I've ever read from two girls who are, I guess, drunk. And I just don't know. I don't know how to understand their thought process, knowing that one of them just saw somebody walking in their house. Yeah, maybe if the story is true, most females are gonna be scared. And, it's understandable when you're scared, but you're not that scared to continue texting your friend. She tells you to come downstairs to my room. Hurry up, run. Although you just saw somebody in the house, run down here. Clearly, you're not that scared. There's no confirmation if she actually went down to her room. We don't know what happened in between the hours of 4:20, 4:30 up until 10 something when they decided to call the other roommates again. Or at least we don't know. She said there are other messages, but maybe they're not out to the public yet. So from 4 something when those messages were going on up until, 10:30, 10:20, we have no idea. That's 6 hours of we don't know what happened. And so basically they were saying police believe that the other roommates were actually killed minutes before they started to first text each other at 4:18, 4:19 a.m. Now, what's also bizarre about how they connected Brian Kohlberger to this case, which we're going to end the video off here, it says a knife sheath with DNA on it that was found at the apartment house where 4 University of Idaho students were stabbed to death in 2022 could have been planted by the actual killer. The defense lawyers for suspect Brian Kohlberger may argue at his trial. They pieced this together off of supposed DNA off of a knife sheath, meaning something that you put the knife inside of. And if I'm not mistaken, the DNA was just on the button of the sheath, not all over the sheath, one little particular place. And this article is basically saying that his defense team, they're not going to deny that his DNA was on the sheath, but they are going to argue that the DNA was planted by the actual killer or, whoever orchestrated this mess or this killing, these murders. Says the defense plans to argue the DNA on the knife sheath does not prove defendant was ever at the crime scene, and the knife sheath itself could have been planted by the real perpetrator. A gag order prevents those involved in the case from speaking publicly, and it's unclear how the defense may respond to the prosecution's characterization of its defense expert. Prosecutors have not detailed a motive for Kohlberger, who was a doctoral student of criminal justice at nearby Washington State University. The murder weapon, believed to be a large fixed blade knife, has not been recovered. Authorities said that male DNA discovered on a knife sheath found at the home was used to link Kohlberger to the stabbings that they had been tracking his car, a white Hyundai Elantra, and cell phone use in the area. Kohlberger's lawyers have said in a court filing that there is no connection between him and the slain students, and that other men's DNA was also found at the scene. Trial is set for August 11th. There were multiple other men's DNA on the scene. They have his cell phone usage in the area, not pinpointed directly to the house. They have no idea where the knife is at. What's even more odd is he was a student of criminal justice. He was pursuing a degree in criminal justice. It's either they're just throwing this in our face, it's like ha ha ha, or y'all know I don't believe in coincidences. When things seem orchestrated and seem ritualistic, that's exactly what they are. And what we are dealing with here, more than likely, is, this is not the killer. Just like how I said earlier with the United CEO thing, the guy that they caught, that was not the killer. We can almost be certain here, this guy is not the killer. They are going off DNA that just so happened to be on a knife sheath. Nowhere else. I have read nothing that puts Brian Kohlberger's DNA anywhere else. They even admit that other men's DNA is at the scene, but just because his was on a knife sheath that they can't even find the knife, he's the guy that did it. Make it make sense, y'all. Ritual sacrifice, and it was not done by Brian. We can see through the bullshit. Am I an advocate to free this man and, oh, he didn't do it? No. That's not the case. The case is what we're seeing is bullshit. And this is a ritual, and we know how these play out. A lot of these people are patsies. If it's even real, that is what we are exposing. This is not to be like, hey, free that man. A lot of this stuff is very well orchestrated. But for us that are able to point it out, we can see it. While everybody else is like, oh, you could hear the sheer terror in their voices in the 911 call, being harvested. That's what you're doing. And you don't realize it. So with that being said, y'all, we'll go ahead and stop this video right here. If y'all want a part 2, maybe if some things come out in the future, we'll definitely cover it. But I think for right now, with the recent 911 call and text messages being released, I think we've done it justice for now. I'll definitely keep track, like I said, if anything comes out. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Anything that I may have missed of importance, please let me know in the comments. With that being said, it's Black Balloon, and I'm going to see y'all soon. I'm out.